Hi, beautiful soul. Just let me back up a little bit so you can see me. There we go. I'm not going to shift the camera up because I'm going to be lying down on the mat and we're going to be working on the wall today. So welcome to my 40-day restorative yoga challenge. This is day 8. And today we're going to do our second hip opener and using the wall. So before you kind of get settled into your spot, if you're able to go to a wall or to a sofa where there's a firm place to put a foot on the wall, you don't need the whole wall, you just need a place to rest one foot, okay? So welcome. This is the 8th day of 8 restorative yoga poses. And each of the poses I am workshopping in a way with the intention that you will be able to come back to these videos again and again and do them on the floor of your bedroom or in the privacy of some space somewhere. This just seems like a really beautiful time to be practicing restorative yoga. Really important to be grounding on a daily basis and just letting go of all of the emotional and mental tension that seems to be everybody's experience at this time. So if you have any issues with your physical body, with your joints, with particular organs of your body, and you're working with health practitioners, please heed their advice. And if you come into a certain shape and it is not working for you, then I strongly advise you just to come down, lie on your back, and for this 20 minutes together, 30 minutes together, that you just breathe and let go, cover yourself up with a blanket, and enjoy Savasana, the relaxing pose on the back, maybe even support underneath your knees with something. All right. Listen to your inner wisdom all the time. You know the limitations of your own body. And also, I am here. I'm here through email. I'm here on chat at the end of each of these. I'm available to, or in the comments below as well too, to answer any questions or to expand or adapt anything that I'm suggesting over this 40 days. As well, during this 40 days, I'm offering a card draw. So I'm doing 40 decks over the 40 days, 40 inspirational messages. And I am posting those in groups of 4 on my community tab, also on my Instagram. So you can go and have a look there, at a closer look at the cards in groups of 4. And one more thing, Thursday morning. So in 2 days' time, Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I teach yoga practice here in my living room. It is not a restorative practice. It's a gentle hatha practice. So there is a little bit more movement. It's very mindful. It's a lovely, sweet practice. It's on Zoom, and there's usually just a small group of people that show up. It is complimentary, and you can access that by going in the description box below to other offerings by Sadhana, and you can join that class. So I look forward to seeing you there. And let's go ahead and draw a card for today. Now, this is a really special deck, and the reason that I wanted to choose this deck was because we're working with the hips. And as you've heard me mention before, and I'm sure other yoga teachers, the emotions, the tension, whatever level you're ready to look at it in the area of the hips is huge for most people. It is connected to the 2nd chakra, to the Swadhisthana chakra, the sacral chakra, to the energy of the divine feminine, to our sexual power, to our creative power, and also very much it is where all of the karmas are stored and where they kind of come through and manifest through. It's a whole other story and lots of teachings there. And this is the waters of the divine feminine. I wanted to choose a very kind of feminine deck to dive in and get a message from today, just to go along with the area of the hips. Divine Muses. The author of this deck is, I should know her name. Just give me 1 second. Yes, Marie Bento. The guidebook that goes with this is really phenomenal, and I will read you a few lines from the guidebook. It is very, very inspirational. This deck is not unlike the deck we used a couple of days ago, the Vintage Wisdom Tarot, but it has a kind of a different slant to it. And this is one of the decks I also use when I'm doing past life readings. So close your eyes, take a breath. In whatever seat you're in, allow your feet to soften, allow your whole body just to breathe. Feel your whole body. Soften your shoulders. Be aware of your spinal alignment. Perhaps bring your chin down a little bit, nice long back of the neck. What is the most important thing to bring to light today as we work through this restorative posture in the hips? How apropos is that? This is the Sea Priestess card. Beautiful. If it's possible for you to either have a bath tonight, if it's possible for you to get to the ocean, here, let me show you this card just so you can see. It's really beautiful. The reason I'm saying that is there's something about this card deeply connecting to the divine feminine energy. And so there is an invitation to connect with the waters. And so please consider in what way you can connect with the waters, either following this practice or a little bit later in the day. All right, page 121. I won't read you the whole thing. They're lengthy descriptions, but we'll just read a little bit from Marie's words. Sea magic, cleanse, and tidal rhythm. The Sea Priestess whispers strength. This card describes the power that comes from being by the sea. A quiet stroll along the beach can purify the body, mind, and soul. If you have been feeling overwhelmed by the day-to-day and can't settle into yourself, this card's appearance may be inviting you to cleanse away the debris of life by using sea magic. The seashore is a healing, purifying, and magical place with all the elements coming together powerfully. The sea-salted air, the invigorating wind, the sands of earth being shaped by water, and the fieriness of the sun warming the land. This combination of elements can reset and cleanse our energy field with more quickly than possibly anything else. Oh, well, I wish I had time to read you this whole thing. Anyway, if you cannot get to the sea, you may be able to replicate this experience with an altar just for this intention, and to get a little bit of sand or a little bit of earth, light a candle, have a little cup of water, and to represent the air, you can use a feather or a bell, and to just really kind of tap into the mood of the energy of this card. All right. So let's move into, we're going to do thread the needle on the wall. And this posture is and can be aided by a pillow or a block. So you might want to get a small pillow from your sofa, or if you have a block or some kind of a smallish bolster. This pose takes a little bit of playing around with, and I'm going to guide you into the different experiences you can have in this posture. Let's start by placing the left foot on the wall, and ideally you want to make about a right angle. The closer your seat is to the wall, the more intense the experience. The further your seat is away from the wall, the gentler the experience is going to be. Then place your right ankle on your left thigh. And already some of you may be feeling a little bit of tension in the right hip area, all of the outside muscles from the hip to the right knee, and the connective tissue as well.
Start with a little bit of a moderately active foot. Connect to your exhale breath. You can have your hands up here if you like, or resting on the floor. Big breath in. And as you exhale, gently push this knee away. Just finding what range of motion you're going to be working with today. And if you do not feel anything, then bring the foot down. Come a little bit closer to the wall. Bring the foot up. And that should be a little more intense of an experience for you. Deepening the stretch into the glutes all around the hip. Okay? Now this is a restorative practice. So how do we make thread the needle on the wall restorative? And how do we really relax into this? Because we don't want the knee to rest down onto the chest. We want to create a little bit of resistance here. So in this space here between your right rib and your right thigh, we can fill this in with a block or a bolster. Right? So you can tuck something in here to keep that resistance. And it doesn't have to keep it right up. It's just nice to have a little bit of something there pressing. It's just really kind of special having that there. And then rest your arms at your side. Walk your shoulder blades together if they're feeling like they're not centered and you don't have that gentle heart opening. Come to your breath and begin to breathe deeply into the part of your hip where you're feeling this stretch. My right foot is still quite active. This is a restorative practice, and so I want to soften my right foot and intentionally let go. For some of you, the hip opening we did the other day, the deer posture, may have been too intense with the body weight on the hip. And so doing this one with the foot up on the wall, there's no gravity pressing down onto that part of the body. So it's a little, it may be preferable for some of you than the deer posture we did. And so I invite you to come back to the message of that card and the power of the sea, perhaps putting sea salt into your bath tonight, lighting a candle in your bath. And there's so many reasons why that sea air and the experience at the seashore feels so peaceful and so reviving and healthy. It's a particular energy where we have the ability to let go a little more easily as well too. And so I invite you to soften your hands, soften your wrists, and come to your exhale breath. And imagine you're at the seashore and your breath is beginning to synchronize with the sound of the waves. Perhaps you can even hear the sound of the waves, or imagine the sound of the birds. Perhaps there's a particular smell that you associate with the seashore. Soften your right foot. It's going to want to continue to tense up. I haven't yet gone to the seed mantras, the seed sounds for each of the chakras. And perhaps today we can just bring awareness to the sound for the hips, to the sacral chakra, which is the sound of VAM with a V for victory, VAM. And one of the ways to work mantra, especially with restorative practices, is to simply breathe in and silently repeat the mantra with the inhale breath, inhaling VAM, and exhaling VAM. And if you're on your own and you feel comfortable repeating it aloud, you could do that as well too. And so why would you want to do that? Why would you want to repeat VAM as you stretch the hips? The frequency of the sound is in alignment with the frequency of this part of the body, specifically the Swadhisthana chakra. And the more we can bring this part of the body into alignment, physically, emotionally, energetically, the greater the chances of bringing the chakra into balance, into wellness. And so it's a tool, it's a way, it's a method into the frequency of health, of balance. And so you may even feel this in your left leg, your left hip, your left gluteus. Big exhale breaths. Let go. Let go. Kind of a sweet place just to hang out. Come back to the VAM. Inhaling VAM. Exhaling VAM. So if you have any trauma, physical trauma, emotional trauma in the sacral chakra area, then be really gentle with the hip openers. And if the frequency of the mantra doesn't sit right with you, then just leave it. Let's take 11 more breaths on this side. Soften into the last few breaths. And then release the mantra. Bring your arms a little closer. They're spread out. Very gently taking the right foot off the left thigh. You can remove your block or your cushion and extend both legs up the wall. If you don't have space to do this, then just back up and come into Savasana or one of the other integrative postures that we've done so far. I'm smiling because today seems to be lawnmower and weed whacking day. I swear every neighbor today has mowed their lawn or done their trimming. And so the secret for me, the intention for me is, can I find the Om in the lawnmower? Can I find the Om in the power tools? One more big breath in, big breath out, so that these sounds don't become irksome. They just feel connected. So we're going to move to the other leg. So bring the sole of the right foot to the wall. A right angle. Now this hip will be different. So take your time. You might need to come further apart, and that might mean bringing the legs right down and scooting a little further back. Have a look at where your leg is. And so the right foot is in front of the right leg. You're not at some funky angle. And then bring the left ankle onto the right thigh. And when I start this posture, usually I just give a few gentle pulses, exhaling as I press the knee away. And my left knee here goes, oh yeah, okay, we're doing this, are we? So if you have joints that don't work optimally, just be really gentle with them. And then if you're not quite close enough, just come a little bit closer to the wall, readjust the shoulder blades, and set yourself up for the second side. Pick up your block or your cushion, make a little bit of space. See if you can tuck it right in there. Beautiful. Whew. Soften the left ankle. This is a restorative, nourishing posture. And you may feel this deeply in your left glute. Find the breath. And if the mantra was working for you, if the mantra felt nourishing, come back to that. And just focus on releasing and softening into the second side. Inviting balance and wellness. Come back to your visualization of the seaside. Whatever that may be, the smells, the sounds, the wildlife. And bring your breath into synchronization with the sound of the waves, the motion of the waves. What can you allow the waves to wash away? And perhaps you've come a little too deep on this side. It feels a little too intense. If that's the case, unwind and walk a little further away from the wall and then set yourself up again. Or if the opposite is the case, you don't feel it deeply enough, unwind, come closer to the wall and set yourself up again. Come back to your visualization of the waves or the sound, the frequency of the mantra VAM, focusing more on the exhale breath. Soften your right ankle. Check in with your hands, soften your hands, your wrists. If it feels intense, come back to the breath. Go ahead and exhale through the mouth. Usually in the yoga practice, I suggest keeping the mouth closed so the prana is retained. However, sometimes it's just too much and the tension needs to be diffused. And so the breath through the mouth can feel very nourishing. Letting go. Do your best to stay and breathe. For at least 11 more breaths. Soften the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Be aware of any tension you carry in your jaw. Take one more big breath in. Big breath out. Now, if you're feeling short-changed, like you didn't get enough time on this side, then please stay. If you're ready to transition out of the posture, remove the left ankle from the right thigh, remove the block. And then I suggest either you can put your legs at the wall, but you may like to scoot back and just rest on your back, integrating in Savasana. Adjust your pelvis if necessary, shifting the pelvis forward. Walk the shoulder blades under. Cover yourself up with a blanket if you have time to lie for a while. And those of you that are still on the wall, join us in Savasana when you're ready. I will spend some time, one of the 40 days, on Viparita Karani variations, which is legs up the wall. And so today, because I haven't gone through that, it would be better if you came back into Savasana. Unless, of course, it's already in your practice. So I encourage you to stay resting on the floor for as long as you are able. And when you're done, be very mindful in your transition. You come into a full body stretch. Bring your knees in towards your chest. And come to a side and up to your seat when you feel ready. So that is the second of several hip openers that we're going to do in this series. And let me know if you have any questions about that or any of the previous postures. And I'll be happy to clarify, modify, whatever it is that you need so that you can work with the posture on your own at home and feel safe and supported. Thank you very much for joining me today. Namaste, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.